Yes, sir. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm Wayne. Nice to meet you guys.
You too.
All right. In case you want to do this, I have the dining room like lit up and stuff. And, are we sitting down? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Do we want to do that better than this?
Better than standing in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one, it doesn't matter. Whatever is easiest.
That would work for me. Absolutely.
Okay, I'll Christmas going today, so.
Beautiful room.
Yes, thank you. Yes, so this was well, Johnny Ott ran the place, I believe like 40s to 60s, 70s, that kind of thing. So he painted all these things. So if you go on eBay and look for Johnny Ott hex signs and that kind of thing, his stuff goes for good amounts of money. His stuff is very popular, and he painted everything back then, like spoons and chairs and all this kind of stuff. So I'm sure auctions and like antique shops all over the country probably have his things. So yeah, this was his room. This is the Johnny Ott room. So this is our main dining room. We do have another section called the bar room where we don't serve alcohol anymore. But we still call it the bar room. So it's these two main dining rooms that we use on a daily basis. Okay. Well, I'm Steve Stetzler. Just turned 50 years old, actually. I've been here for, well, it's 29 and a half years now that we've been running the restaurant. Started here as a dishwasher when I was 15 years old and went to Penn State Berks campus for hotel restaurant management. That was 91 to 93. Came back here in 93 to run this place because there was a Pennsylvania Dutch Museum on the same complex, and their artifacts were being moved over to the Kutztown University Heritage Center, so they need someone to run the restaurant, and they knew I was working. Used to work here, and then went to school, and they asked me back. So from 93 to 97, it was mine to run, and then 97 I bought it, and here ever since. So next April will be 30 years. 30 years we're here.
Wow.
So yeah, long time. Every year seems longer than the next. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So
I can relate to that.
yeah, right. As with any career or job, I guess. So you know.
Okay, so then is this a family-owned business, or is this just your own business?
A family is in. Well, I do own it, but my family does help me. My aunt's in the kitchen helping me. My mom and my sister are waitresses here, and they do a whole lot of other things too. But their main job is to serve. And then my aunt, like I said, she works in the kitchen. She does a lot of prepping, and she's been here for over 20 years. And my mom and my sister have been here since day one. So that's the family part of the business. Yeah.
Wow, and did it pass down to generation or no?
Not really, no. Since I worked here when I was 15 years old, and then I bought it, I have. It's just been us, really. So, and for me to pass it on, and probably no family would want it as of now. My sister does have 2 kids. But not sure they would be interested in the restaurant business. I'm not sure, but so as of now, it's just ours.
Understandable. That's very cool, though. Congratulations.
Yeah, it is. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Sometimes it's, it's a lot, and it is a career, but a job as well. Sometimes it gets to you, just like any job can do. But it is very satisfying. It's very rewarding. People know you're from the area, and we do some charitable stuff on a monthly basis, so that gets good word out. And it's hard to find good Pennsylvania Dutch food or any Pennsylvania Dutch food really these days. So we're one of the few left. So it's it's good for people to have us around, and it all works out.
Interesting. So we actually do have a question about Pennsylvania Dutch food.
Okay.
So,
yes.
Is there a difference between authentic Dutch food and Dutch food itself, or is it all the same?
I think there is a difference. There's a gentleman, and I'm not sure where he lives. I want to say in the Philadelphia area. He's published Pennsylvania Dutch cookbooks and books and such on Pennsylvania Dutch. His name is William Royce Weaver. Now, he has done a couple Pennsylvania Dutch cookbooks Now, the ones we serve here, which he would say are usually made in a restaurant for the tourist trade, something that people are maybe more familiar with when they go to restaurants, such as, let's say, corn pie or pig stomach, chicken pot pie. Those we sell here every week. We have something different. Whereas in his cookbooks, it's you know what? I'm not even sure if I can think of anything. But his recipes are things that you wouldn't find in restaurants that are more, you know, Pennsylvania Dutch origin, I guess you could say, when it comes to their cooking. So we do, you know, and our side dishes like potato filling and chow chow and pepper cabbage. Those are all Pennsylvania Dutch. Now, when it comes to his cookbook, I'm pretty sure he has sides that you probably have never heard of before. So I guess you could say we do, when it comes to the tourist trade, we do what people have heard of and are familiar with, that kind of thing. And when it comes to Dutch, we really don't want to think of like Dutch Holland. So we make sure we put the Pennsylvania in front of Dutch, because the Germans came over here and settled in the 17th century. Once they were in Pennsylvania, over time they became Pennsylvania Germans, and then over time they became Pennsylvania Dutch. So it's really not a Holland thing, it's more of an ancestry from German. So that's where the Pennsylvania Dutch comes in. And people sometimes confuse Dutch, you know, Pennsylvania Dutch with Mennonite and Amish and that kind of thing. So food is probably familiar a little bit, but when it comes to, you know, like a little on the religion side or, you know, things like that, things are probably a little bit more different. Food, I always say when it comes to Pennsylvania Dutch is what's good and hearty and not good for you. That's pretty much what Pennsylvania Dutch food is. You know, stick to your ribs, that kind of thing. If you're on a diet, our food is probably not what you want to eat, but it is good and yummy, and you know, you don't eat that every day, so you know, you're good to get away with it once in a while.
So, do you guys make Dutch food here, or is it authentic Dutch?
I would say just Pennsylvania Dutch food. Authentic, yeah, like I say, with his cookbook and stuff, there's a lot of recipes that you really are, you know, like it's really homemade and really, I don't want to say difficult, but maybe more on the intensive side when it comes to cooking and stuff. So we kind of go into the more of the, I guess the touristy route. But not that these recipes are easy or anything, but you know, rolling out dough for the chicken pot pie, or the boiling the pig stomachs, and you know, getting all the sausage ready for them. You know, it is kind of labor intensive. So, but it's worth it because people really seem to like it. They call about our specials, you know, when's your pig stomach and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's worth it to do this Pennsylvania Dutch stuff.
Yeah, I would have to say, because I don't know, because like I never ate here, but I'm hoping one day I get to eat here.
Yeah, that's great.
But when you say authentic Dutch, I just think, oh my gosh, that menu probably has to be hard for people to read, because I don't know German, and even if I tried it, I mean, I know some German words, but even if I tried to read the menu, I would be like, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'd be like, what's this? So I'm glad So I'm glad that you guys keep the Pennsylvania Dutch food simple, where we can read it and understand what we're eating.
Right. Because I've been to some German restaurants too, and people also confuse that. Like they'll call in and say, "Do you have German food?" Now you're looking at some, like, you know, maybe when it comes to the sausages or the spätzle or all that kind of stuff, that's a little bit different than the Pennsylvania Dutch food. Yeah, it's just always say good hearty home cooking, and yeah, that's what we got.
Nice.